Hey everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Thanks for joining me. This week's free little lecture lesson is going to be all about chord inversions, okay? And I'm going to give you just a few examples of how to use them, and you might know these better as slash chords. I should maybe write slash chords up here because some people know that term a little better. Maybe the more technical term would be chord inversions or slash chords. Okay, I think that's how you spell slash. But yeah, so slash chords, and in chord inversions, how we use them, how they're functioning, and just how to play them on the guitar. And I kind of want, I want to do two keys, and I'm going to do the key of G and D, and give you examples from both, and talk about ways I might use them within a chord progression. So let's dive right in. So if I'm in the key of G, the one, it's kind of two I want to show you, two sets, so to speak, in each key. And they'll be in relation to each other as well. But the one is G/B, okay? The G/B. And you might see this, and I'll write the actual, the tab for it. It'd be X20033. Okay, that's how you finger that chord. You can maybe do it here with a 0 as well on the B string. But so G/B, well, what does that mean? So it means we have a G chord, but a B note is in the bass. And in this case, the B is the third. Okay? The third is in the bass. And we call this first inversion. Okay? And so it looks like this. And I'm not plucking the low E. There's an X there, so I don't want it to sound. So if I have G, the G in the bass, right? That's my low string. And then the third's in the bass, B note. That's a B note, second fret A. Okay? So when would I use this? Well, often when I go to the C chord. And they use this in all kinds of different music. Sorry if my lighting's low. I'm getting a little weird glare from the window back there. It can't always be perfect around here. But often when I'm going from G to C, okay? And in this case, going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, and that 3 is kind of our passing note or our bass note. Kind of playing a C9, but you could do C, works just fine. So again, so G/B, that's what it looks like, that's what it sounds like. And again, often I'm going to use it when I'm going from the 1 to the 4. Kind of just put another chord in there. Alright, so there we go. The next slash chord I want to show you is D/F sharp. Okay, you might see it like this. Okay, and the Yep. 2, 3, 2. Okay. D/F sharp. So we have a D chord, but the F sharp is in the bass. And that is the 3 of D. Okay, is the third note of D. Okay, I'm talking within each chord, not within keys at the moment. So it looks like this. So you got to use your thumb. Okay? Now it's tricky at first. Again, the A is X. I don't want it to sound. So it sounds really thick and lush to have that low F sharp above, not above, but in the bass. Okay, and it's got to be played just right. It's one of those chords along with that G/B. It's got to be played, just right. All the strings have to ring out nicely in order for that chord to come through and that F sharp to sound the way it's supposed to. If you're not getting all the strings just so, the appropriate strings, then it won't sound as good. Okay, so when would I use that? Well, a couple different places actually. A lot of times, I might use it when I'm at the D chord. I might use it from D/F sharp back to the 1, because that F sharp is called the leading tone. If I'm talking within the key now, it's the leading tone, and it pulls me back to G. Okay? I want to resolve on the 1 when I do that shape, that D, F sharp. Okay? So I often put the 3, when I'm on the 5 chord, oftentimes I'll put the 3rd note of that chord in the bass to take me back home to 1. Okay? If that makes sense. And we can do it in a couple different keys too. But all right? And the other spot I might use this, actually, is some of you might know, like a little walk down to the E minor, or to the 6. Okay, E minor is the 6 of G. And I might do like a G with the F sharp in the bass. That's a chord too, that's a slash chord. It's really thick, you know, because that F sharp's rubbing up against the G. But I really like, and I would totally do that too. Some songs call for that. Some songs do that. But I might do that D, F sharp thing too. Okay, I like the way that sounds as well. So when I'm walking to the 6, often down to the 6, not always, but I'll put that D, F sharp going down to the 6th chord, okay? G, D with F sharp, okay? Okay, and I just did a 1-5-1, but I put that D, F sharp in the bass, and it pulled me back home, okay? Cool. So let's do a different key real quick. Let's do the key of D. Okay, so D is the 1. Now when I want to do like a D, F sharp, it's kind of acting the same here as my G/B. Okay, I'm taking my D chord, and then I'm putting the 3rd in the bass as I come to the G chord. Okay. Now I know I just did that, but again, this is for a separate key. We're now in D, and so it's in relation. It's a little different. Okay. So then now, if I want to do my 5 chord, A. Well, what's a 3 of A? It's F sharp. I'm sorry, not F sharp. C sharp. Okay. And so now that'll pull me home. So I'm going from the 5 to the 1. And then okay, so I'm going to 4. Then I go to the 5. A with the C sharp in the bass. So that, it looks like this. A/C sharp is X 4 2 2 2 0. Okay. And it is a little trickier to finger this chord. And maybe I wouldn't play the high E necessarily just because I'm barring, so it's hard to, you know, I don't want to play it fretted really. I could, but maybe just the middle 4 strings. And again, it's one of those chords, it has to be played just so, you know, otherwise it's not going to sound good. If you have other strings ringing out, if the bass note's all you hear, it won't sound good. You have to complete that chord, okay? All right, so again, if I'm in D, going to the 4, okay, so I did my D, F sharp. Then I go to the 5. And that C sharp was now the leading tone. Again, it's the 7 of the key of D, the natural 7. Not natural, it is the 7, okay? So that pulls me back home. The leading tone wants to resolve to D. Okay, or open D. So yeah, a little bit of theory is involved, and it might be a little confusing if some of the 3 of this and 3 of, you have to either think, am I talking about in the key of or within the chord? That's where a lot of people, I think, get confused. Is, am I in the, you say 3, is it in the chord or in the key? And people think differently about that, okay? So we have the 2 examples, and they're both are having the 3rd of the chord in the bass. And there's plenty more out there. That's a classic one too. So if I'm in the key of C, real quick here, I like to keep these videos kind of short. I don't like to, just like to have little snippets here, so we'll just brush over this one. But C, then C/B, maybe you've seen that again. Okay. 2 0 0 0 1 0. I think I added too many zeros in there. And then I went to the 6, A minor, and then I put the 5 in the bass, the E minor or the A minor. Okay, and then walked it down to the 4. So I'm walking down to the 6, A with the G in the bass. Again, that's one of those chords. That one, and the X on the A. I wouldn't play the A. It has to be played just so in order for it to sound good, and that's the case with these slash chords because they're thick. Okay, they're thick sounding. That's what I always hear them as, describe them as. And I go down to my 4. I think it's like the piano, hey there piano man. A lot of songs do it. Now I kept walking the bass on down. All right, so just a couple notes about the chord, the chord inversions. They just make songs sound a little bit more interesting, cooler, more creative, expressive. I always try to incorporate them when I'm playing by myself or with just other guitar players. If there's a bass, then the bass player might be doing those walks, and you don't need to do it as much. But they sound so cool, and they just add texture and depth to our chords, you know what I mean? And there's tons of choices out there, but some people just don't even know what this stuff means. Again, it's like this is the chord, and whatever this note is in the bass. And I know I mentioned that, but just to be more clear, whatever this note is, that's the chord. This is what's in the bass. All right? So, if you like what you see, hey, if you're not a free member already, please sign up down below. You can sign up, be a member, access my free member area. For those of you members, leave comments, questions below. Let me know what you thought, and I can follow up with a lesson or whatnot. But yeah, make sure you leave comments on in the member section there on this page on my website. And yeah, that's about it. So there's your free lesson for the week. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.